Hello, happy Sunday. How's this balance sound? Am I louder than the music by a reasonable amount? Perfect. Perfect. Hey, what's up? Didn't think we'd be here today, but here we are. Let's finish this up. Cars raw. Is it? So where did we leave off? I think we were just at all the new stuff, if I counted correctly. So that worked out like somewhat okay. At least we were able to find like a good stopping point, you know? Birds of a feather. And we got some bangers here, I think. Am I already out? I don't think you can be out till the end. Although I don't know what you guessed, so. But I mean, there's always room for me to readjust. Bees of a Tover. Star Beethoven invoked birds of a feather today, which is insane. I don't have time to talk about manga today, though. There's no Xenoblade on the screen, except there literally is. We could talk about manga when we get to Xenoblade 2. That could be funny. But let's pick up, I believe next for us is a bit of a big one, a big long one for sure. Is this capturing correctly? Good. It's Yakuza. Long playthrough. Very long one. Roughly 7 months, almost 8. I'm correct, right? We did RE Village, yes. And this was what? Oberdin, Pokemon, all that, yeah. Very long playthrough. Spanned multiple, like, eras, kind of. I feel like the different parts of the playthrough felt like different, like, seasons almost, or different arcs. I do remember that one night. That was funny. Let's take a quick look at the titles we got to kind of refresh my memory on, like, where we were at. Monday hits me like a brick. That's pretty good. I think this is because it was Yakuza Friday, like Yakuza Friday Crazy Night. Mid this playthrough? Yo, what if we could pinpoint it? It's Fellas Friday. Future Mahjong World Champion. This is huge. The final Friday Crazy Night of 2022. So that tells us where this was. This was New Year's. Mid on a Friday, it's more likely than you think. This would have been, you know, when Jump at the beginning of the year releases chapters on like a weird day, I guess a Friday. We must have been talking about My Hero Academia. That must be what this is about. That's why I bolded it. The world's most fascinating man. This is when Majima was introduced. Maji Mahjong. What the Mad Dog doing? I could use $1. I could use a couple bucks. Oh, perfect. Perfect song. It's free real estate. That must have been the beginning of, yeah, absolutely, the real estate subplot. The Kiryu and Such Anything Agency. Very, very proud of this stupid one. It is a mashup of Spirits and Such and the Right Anything Agency. The Kiryu and Such Anything Agency. This next one was definitely like a Toei title. Another Friday crazy night. Unwavering spirit of a Mahjong champion. Lots of Mahjong was played. I learned how to play Mahjong from Yakuza 0. And I hope it's in 1. I hope it's in all of them. Because I need a refresher. I haven't played since, maybe. Wazab Maj. Jupiter is the best one. I stand by this. Mars needs Maj. The Goro Majima meal. These titles are like... There's a lot of Maj and a lot of Mahjong and a lot of... Oh, yo, the Sun Kong clip. Quick, Marinara, do you know any songs? I don't know what this is about. Probably, just when we had to save her for the sing-off. In Kamurocho, you can have it all. This was probably after HouseCon. Well, it definitely was. But it was probably right after it. Because this would have been a... This would have been a Haggerty reference. You're going to give me some pleasure, right? This is about the Pleasure King, I assume. And this is a quote that Cell says in, is it Ultimate Battle 22? Cell says, you're going to give me some pleasure, right? Very stupid quote. But, that's what that is. How can you claim to be the gambling king when Skuzechi is right there, Ra? By the way, Mr. President, my name is Marina. It's hard to believe that each of the side modes... Yeah, no, definitely. There's so much going on in this game. Apparently you need a warrant to have a play date. This is a reference to how Yakuza and coming up shortly, the Somnium Files were brother playthroughs. Just like the DNA was tied together between the two. They were referencing each other constantly. Date might have been just in the game. There's definitely a scene where a red car crashes into the scene. And I flipped out because I really, for a second, for like a split second, was like, oh my god, Date is gonna step out of the car. There was a split second where the fear of God was put in me. What do you do when you already have it all? Return to Sotenbori Arc. The Quest for Vinegar, this was an awesome one. You take the moon and you take the moon and you take the sun. And then 28 sessions in, finally, go mode. Worlds are colliding! 11th Hour Cinderella. And then A Lot So Empty, A Heart So Full. That was the finale. This was, I would say, Xenoblade is around the time I really got into the idea of like, get like a banger finale title. Like have one ready, have a banger finale title. We had I think it was Xenoblade where I would have started. Is that up here? God, where is it? The Chad makes the sword. We had Veni Vedi Va. I love that. This is like a heartfelt one. I really like the art of like a finale. This is no good. This is pretty good. This is pretty good. And then I love this one. A Lot So Empty, A Heart So Full. And then this was the tier list stream, the Kiryu and Such Anything After Party. So, I mean, a lot happened in this playthrough. There was, early on, it was a lot of aimless wandering. You know, the sub-story of the week was usually what would carry us. A lot of Mahjong. I played Mahjong once per week here. We probably could have shaved the playthrough down like 2 or 3 full sessions if I had not played Mahjong every session. But we needed to. It was the flavor of the playthrough. And then around, I would say, so here we were still probably doing... Around here is where we kind of got into a groove with like... What really spiced up the playthrough, which was the real estate side mode for Kiryu, and the cabaret for Majima, where, you know, we got like a wacky side cast for us to play off of, and I felt like every week we had more of a goal in mind. And that's where I think a lot of the real funny stuff came out of. But there was also Pocket Circuit for Kiryu, which was hilarious. That whole quest is so funny. And I think it really characterized Kiryu for us as just a big man baby. I think that's kind of where we landed with Kiryu. And with Majima, he was just like the straight, like the straight and narrow, short, like sorted out adult, which is really funny given, like, you know, where he goes. But it was a funny. There was a funny, like, what would you say, like, dichotomy? Is that the right word? Between the two. And it was funny to jump between the two every couple weeks. I had a lot of fun with this one. I think there were some weeks where it felt a little slow, just because it's such a big game and there's like a lot to do. But I mean, when this game was like firing on all cylinders, it was like one of our best for sure. I specifically remember it probably would have been, I mean, I would assume it was like here, maybe session 12. I think this would have been where we had our peak cinema moment, where there was a cutscene that was just so like cinematically powerful that we sat here in silence for like 20 minutes watching it. I didn't talk at all during it. It was so like powerful. I felt like I was watching a movie, like a really strong drama like movie, and I was like, okay, I see a game now, Yakuza. And then Makoto, wonderful. There was a session around here where I was like, I felt miserable watching the plot unfold, just because of how dire the straits were, or just how hopeless it felt. I felt hopeless. Very strong story. One of the best I've ever played in a game, for sure. And yeah, I mean, there was just a lot going on. It was a fun time. We had fun making up, I made a sub-story tier list, and I had fun like making up like what the picture for them would be. I remember we had Zeph Jr. in there somewhere, because Zeph Jr. was big around this time. I think this is the first invocation of him. And there was a lot of Mob Psycho. Shigeo was in it. Again, the Kiryu and such. I think there was a song in there that I kept saying sounded like Reagan's theme. And it did. It had that same instrument. Just a funny playthrough, though. I had a blast with it, and I'm excited to do the next one. Yeah, the cult was funny. The pizza was funny. Oh, there was a chicken. There was a chicken nugget. Oh my god, yeah. So Marinara and Yamanoi on Kiryu's side were hilarious. Dulce. Dulce, the radio host that Kiryu loved. And then on Majima's side, we had Yuki, we had we had all the other girls who like weren't really as much, but those two were the best. And Yuta and Etsuka and Aranda. What a wonderful bunch. And yeah, I don't know. Cool game. Oh, Kuze? Oh my god, Kuze's so cool, guys. Cope beast. Cope hype. I loved every Kuze appearance ever. Really cool game. My goodness. And basically, we just short of 100%ed it, I think. There were a couple little things we didn't do. But we did like 95% of the game. So we fully engaged with it. Very thorough playthrough. So, very happy with it. Where would I put it? Definitely S. Where an S? I think I'm gonna put it here. You are now the gatekeeper. This is the new role. Garlic sauce. Yeah. I like how these are. Principal Tusk Isra. I think this is fine. I think this is good. Yeah, I like how this is looking. Alright, what's next? I think it's I. Oh yeah. Alright. So, we have Zebra's Return to Uchikoshi Land Deluxe. Kaname Date, portrayed by Nicolas Cage, which was a reference to Face Off because of the glitches we were experiencing right out of the gate. Quest for the Golden Hour, yes. This would eventually be completed and we would get Zabrag, yes. Ota the Face Stealer. Going through my fatherhood arc. Okay, this is huge. Because this is where I declared that this game was making me want to be a father. This game made me feel like a family man. Which is hilarious because of how stupid this game is. But a big like bit in this game was like me arguing with whoever was with Date, whether it was Mizuki or Iris, and I just felt like a dad, like being like, "No, you can't have that. You can't do this. Like, I'm in charge. Stop berating me." But I love this little cast, and I don't know, it was a wonderful experience that developed over time. Me when I sow versus me when I reap. Living in fear of this girl must have been when we started the Iris side of the story. Yeah, well, you know, Snack, that's not representative of me. This was when we started the Iris side. I believe. I would think. Because I was afraid of her. Because I knew she would be funny all the time, and I was like not ready to stop what I was doing every 5 seconds to deal with her. Chilling, shoveling, and forging. Sub goal, you bet. Ota, yo, theme. We have the same old tricks. I think this is another Friday Crazy Night reference. Nice pilled toaster with a little bit of Neum. Busts it down Somnium style. Very proud of this one. Strong title. He tried to bring her through Burger King. Yeah, no, this is like a pretty good song. I'm about to Noom on over to HR. So there was a lot of Noom. Noom was a big bit. We got an emote out of it. Whenever the car would go by, we'd go, because they did that like that scene transition. And then Iba, load up Sejima Man, please. Which is once again a celery man. That's definitely like a Sejima wave. And then we have the tier list stream, which was the case for Ota Matsushita. Which was just a reference to how throughout the whole playthrough, I was joking about where Ota would be. Sometimes he was at C, sometimes he was at A, sometimes he was at S, sometimes he was at B, and I kept you guessing. So it felt fitting for the tier list stream. So this playthrough, so I remember being nervous at the very beginning. Because we had been away from Zero Escape for a bit. And this almost felt like, like the spiritual successor. And I was nervous about, like, presenting it. I had, like, pressure to perform, kind of. I was like, oh man, we're going back to, like, an Uchikoshi, like, I gotta bring my A game. And I think right off the bat, thanks to... What's his name now? It starts with a K. Kazuichi? The inspector, Thanks to him, I felt like we were comfortable immediately. They gave us a bit right out of the gate. Right out of the gate. I love Date, the character. He is my rock. He just like me for real, except not really, but like, he's my soul link. And there were multiple times throughout the game where he said what was on my mind, which I was concerned about and also, like, thrilled about. But I love him. I love Iba. I love the core cast in this game. Really good. We had a lot of fun with the, like, side characters, for sure. What did we do to Sosajima? Who knows? I would say Sosajima and Momo were the two characters that we just had the most fun, like, being dumb with. Putting something there that wasn't there, kind of. As far as the mystery, I think it was slow to kind of build. But once we hit the second path, I started really theory crafting, and I got really into it. To the point where I, like, wrote down all my thoughts about what I thought was happening. And I was pretty much, like, 90% correct. Once I had I needed one little piece of the puzzle, and once we had that piece, I was like, I know what happened. And I was pretty proud of that. I like a mystery that you can solve. I like a mystery that's not obvious, but you can solve it if you, like, really think about it. And I think that's what this was. So yeah, I had a lot of fun with this playthrough. We had the copy pasta, which was wonderful. And what else? I'm sure there was more. I mean, the fight scenes in this game are really funny. We love the Somnium Files choreography. The amount of things that Iba said that are just, like, funny. We got
your mother
out of it. Oh, and speaking of
your mother,
that Somnium was an actual like emotional high point. Now you know what I use, 8. That one was like an emotional high point of the game, or low point, however you'd want to put it. The man can write when he needs to. He can put on many hats. Yeah, we got Neum, we got Zabrag, got lots of good out of it. We had a blast with it, I think. I would rate it fairly high, but not like too high. Do we... Let's see here. I don't think it trumps any of Zero Escape for me. But I think it gets close to at least CTD. I think it's somewhere down here, maybe? Do I think it's S even? I think it is. It's hard. It's either a high A or a low S. I feel weird about both of these, actually. These are the two I was most interested in ranking. I think, after talking about it just now, I think it warrants a low S. I would probably put it, like, right... on one side of FF9. I think I'm gonna put it here. I'm gonna put it here. Good stuff, though. Entertaining. I hope they make a third one. Alright, what do we got next? One Piece Odyssey. Alright, this will be a quick one. Alright, we have come aboard and bring along all your bits and memes. That's pretty funny. Adventure in the Country of Sand again. So, this title is funny because it's just a reference to the chapter title, Adventure in the Country of Sand. And the again is just because they're going there. Little did I know that the game would invoke again, like, I didn't know yet, but it's a funny title in hindsight. VV waiting room, we were very thirsty. We were starving. And then she showed up finally and we popped off. This probably would have been Sop Sunday as well, this one. This would have been Sop Sunday. This game is almost cool. The blueprint is there. And then this one's funny. Can we get a little New World Symphony? Me holding out hope that New World Symphony would play. It was never gonna happen. And this was probably the beginning of the cope as well, of me being like, come on, the game's gonna do something cool here. There? I Hate Sand. This would have been us going back to Alabasta. Right after finishing Alabasta. Why did they think that was good design? One Piece Odyssey, One Piece Galaxy, or One Piece Sunshine. One Piece Sunshine sounds like it would be a very nice game. Wow! 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 I didn't talk about Unbound enough, honestly, the other night. I was getting so tired, but there was a lot more to talk about there, but I think I placed it correctly. There was more to elaborate on. I think I talked about everything else pretty sufficiently. Peak Fiction, it's more likely than you think. This was us starting Water 7. And then, I love this. Sit your limb butt down and listen. And that was the final session. Live cancellation of a playthrough. It was not meant to be the last session, but I had had enough. The final straw was we finished Ennie's lobby. We get back to the hub or whatever. And it was like, oh, we get Frankie now. This is exciting. I'm really excited to get Frankie. We have a new party member to add to our rotation because we were playing as a different Straw Hat every week. And Frankie joined the party. And for whatever stupid reason, I mean, probably because of how big he is, and they wanted characters of similar model size or something, you can't run around as Frankie on the overworld. He is a menu for you to build bridges. You hit a button and it says, like, call Frankie. I'm like, that's so half-baked. Why can't I play as the other 6? And Frankie's just a menu? I had had enough. I was, like, tired of, like, the lack of love. I got this game because I thought it would be the one. And that was it for me. It seems like such a minor thing to be upset over, but after everything else, it was more like the final straw. And I was like, I'm tired of this. I'm not playing the rest of this. It's too repetitive. Too monotonous. It just wasn't fun. It was close, but the final straw hat. No, we didn't even get Brooke. We didn't even get Brooke in the game. He probably would have been the same thing, a menu, I assume. Did I ever finish this game? No. Stands on business. And then we played One Piece Pirate Warriors 3 to fill up the rest of the block. Because it was like early on into the day. And I didn't want to just cancel stream. Played Pirate Warriors, a good One Piece game. So this is going to rank pretty low. But I wouldn't say as low as other canceled games. Simply because it gave us something. And it was pretty funny, and it has a legacy, like it or not. Just due to the sheer, like, beef. I think I put it somewhere here in B. Like, maybe, like, here. Maybe, like, here. There was a funny legacy to it. I think it was a funny, entertaining stream, in spite of it all. So, that's where I'm going to put that. Because these are all just like I said, C is like run-of-the-mill or just like not great. Or like painfully average, I would say. Or something was wrong with them. So, I think it gets B for just like having some kind of staying power. And before we do the next one, I'm going to go to the bathroom real quick. So I'll be back in like 2 seconds. All right. Next we have Skies of Arcadia Legends. So for this playthrough, we played a mod of Skies of Arcadia Legends that I found, I don't know, roughly like a year before or something like that I was eyeing. And this was partially inspired by Sizz, who had played an FF9 mod. And I was watching him play that, and I was like, hey, that's sick. Like, that's a good idea. A fun way to bring a game you love to stream and like do something different with it. Because I was like afraid of streaming this for a long time. Because as I've said before, it's my favorite game. And there's like a nervousness of bringing your favorite thing and like not giving it what it deserves, like in your eyes. And I was always like, I'm not ready. I need to be stronger before I do this. I had actually tried to stream Skies, I think February 2020. I did a one-off, and I was like, I'm gonna quietly back off because I'm not ready. I don't have the sauce yet to talk over an RPG. And so here, I was finally ready to revisit it. And coming off the heels of One Piece Odyssey, I was fueled by a strong power. There was a fire burning in me to play a pirate game that's good. Woo! And I was very excited to kind of just do a very thorough look through the game. But thanks to the mod, there was something new for me to experience, and therefore there could be a bit of an air of like, not it being a new game to me, but being like a new experience for me. And having some of that along with like me just knowing the game like really well. And I think it worked out really well. Yo, Ra, I like the song a lot. That's another thing about Yakuza 0. Amazing and versatile soundtrack. You have a lot of different genres of music in it. And they're really good. I got to be a nerd during this playthrough. I got to like tell you a bunch of different like secrets and stuff without having to look it up. And that was fun. I got to basically like plot out what we were going to do every week. And we did hit some challenges at times, which was cool. That's what I wanted out of the mod. I wanted a little bit of difficulty, but nothing that I like couldn't overcome. So we have a pirate game that's good. Woohoo! We have the Valua Fog. We have we are once again in Alabasta. Because there's basically an Alabasta arc in Skies. We had O Green Moon, that's like O Green World. The Little Jack and the Beanstalk. Wealth, Fame, Scooby Grunts. We had Brag Men, because there's basically a Jaya arc. Something's Brewing. This would have been the, what's it called? What it's called? The dungeon where you go into the Dark Rift. That's what it is. We have Yafu Tomaran Too Glad. I didn't say banana. That's 5, I think. Is that 5? Is that 5 instances, I think? All reliable. We have What's Cooler Than Being Cool. We have Super No Duper. This is important. I don't know why I didn't bold this one. We had Blasting Real Big Fish to own the Valuans because Vice was into ska. Hope they're growing berries on this moon because we needed the moonberries badly. In the Sky, you fight pirates. Raw. The Arcadia Tourism Branch. This was like the cleanup stream before the finale. And then another one of my favorite finale titles, Beyond the Sunset. I think that's cool. Because Vice's dream is to see what lies beyond the sunset. So I thought, oh, that's a good finale title. Yeah, that battle was the hardest one, if I recall. We had to go back to that like 2 or 3 times. Yeah, I had a blast with this. I was very happy with how it came out. We got 2 emotes out of it. We had Aika, Fina, and Gilder was really funny. I'm Gilder, which is like an inherited bit from Will. Which I remember when Will was streaming it, I was like, I had a lot of friction towards it. I was like, no, you can't do this. He's not Zap. And then when I played, I was like, I'm Gilder. So that was funny. We definitely had fire consume my enemies. Lambda burst. Or back off, Alpha Storm. Those were funny. We definitely had Super Sky and Duper Sky. We had the funny crew members. Do you guys remember Belle, the cannon girl? They had to cis check in 2 broke girls. Yeah, that's a fun arc for them. We had a lot of people come through, which I thought was cool. It was fun to see people showing love for the game. That warmed my heart a bit. Really hadn't had that with another playthrough before then. We had Yosuke. Yosuke Hanzamura is in Skies of Arcadia straight up. And him and Drachma bonded over it was like, was it just ABBA? I think it was just ABBA. But it might have just been like that genre overall. But that was funny. He like adopted him at the end. There were a lot of musical genre bits going on because Vice was also like the ska guy. We kept selling Enrique's stuff, his precious family heirlooms. What else? I don't know. It was a good time though. Oh, we slurped up the moonfish all the time. That was funny. But I was very happy with this. I remember the finale going well. We planned out like a nice like 3-way offensive against like Super Boss, Final Wanted Boss, and Final Boss to get like every party member something to do. Cupel was wonderful. And it was 100% playthrough, which I had never done. That was new for me. So yeah, all in all, happy with how it came out. And then I think it was this session. This might have been one of my favorite sessions where we fought Galcian. That boss fight was really funny, I remember. I remember him being like ignoring Vice and being like, Ica and Gilder, you two are the most wanted now. It's like they were really messing with him. They drew his ire. And that fight was hard. They made it really hard in this. That was harder than the final boss, I think. But yeah. I am very happy with how it came out. It's about as best as I could do for the game. And that's all I wanted to do going in, was to give it my all. And so, because of that, and maybe just for a little personal bias, I'm going to put it right here, I think. Right here. What do we got next? Pikmin 3 Deluxe. Okay. Buddha-san! Bobo! Amoir! Happy Sunday. What are the Steanie Awards? So we're going over the past 8 years of Zabreg. All of it. Everything ever. Every project I've done. And we're looking back and just kind of looking back with the critical eye and ranking my projects. Yeah, I'm having a lot of fun looking back at it all. We did a lot more on Friday, and it took forever, and I went super late and had to split it onto today as well. Pikmin 3 Deluxe. This was a short one. What would this have been after? I guess after Somnium Files? What do we got here? This playthrough made me realize I don't like Pikmin 3 that much. It made me realize I'm not big on Pikmin 3 after all. I remember when it came out, it was exciting. Oh, Pikmin. I remember when it came out, I was excited because we hadn't had a Pikmin game in forever. And Pikmin 3 was like super delayed, and like the Pikmin fans were starving. But I was playing this in a post Pikmin 4 world. Or I think Pikmin 4 maybe came out while I was playing it. Maybe right after. Either way. Going into Pikmin 4, I had Pikmin 3 in the back of my mind for sure. And I realized this was not that great a game. It was like okay. But Pikmin 2 was definitely better. I don't know, I would even maybe say Pikmin 1. It might be the worst Pikmin. Anyway, let's talk about the stream. We had this title, which is awesome. Look, Alf, Oculus Kageyami Rusis. So, this is an art that I have started kind of recently, I think, around this time. We have this. We have this. I like doing a baton pass stream title for a session 1 that kind of ties the two games together. Because this was right after the Somnium Files, so this is a reference to, like, Iba, who loved bugs. And this is her pointing out, this is the scientific name in-game for a bulborb, a red bulborb, I'm pretty sure. So that's what the joke here was. And I'm pretty proud of this one. I think it was a pretty genius way to tie the two together. And then we have Follow Your Nose. And then this is a crazy one. Pikmin 3 Exquisite. This was a whim. I had no title. And I was like, what if I put fancy text? Since Twitch will let me. And so instead of Pikmin 3 Deluxe, it was Pikmin the 3rd Exquisite. So I thought that was funny as a random thing. The most hated man in gaming. This is about Louis. In the Name of Net Gains, that is a... I think this was the finale for the main story. So I think that's a pretty good... I'm gonna bold that, actually. That's a callback to Pikmin 2. And this was the post-game, like, bonus mode called A Captain That Cares, because you guys were saying that I was just throwing Pikmin away. And that's not true. They all died in the line of duty. It wasn't me, I cared about my soldiers. And we did this is where, like, Platinum Captain Zebra came from. Because I was trying to get all the platinum medals. And there was a crushing defeat on one of the last ones, where I think they were like... I think we needed like a second or two more to get the last treasure, but they were just too slow. Very Shinpachi-esque. Just like yelling. Yelling hopelessly. Yeah, one thing I remember as well is the winged Pikmin, kissing. That's my favorite clip from this. But man, I was really bad at taking care of my Pikmin in this one, and I think that's funny, and I think that characterizes the zebra Pikmin experience. I mean, it characterizes most people's Pikmin experience, but I think we got a lot of humor out of that. There was a moment in this one. Let me see if I can find the clip. It was pretty funny. What? It was this one. Nitrum Sky, he made it through. Oh, no, it's not this one. This one's pretty funny, though. No, it's not this one. Strike it from the record. You're not supposed to see it. It was this one. I'm pretty sure. Is it this one? It is this one, yes. This one is hilarious. This is the most haphazard I've ever been.
Get out of the way!
Why did I do
That
that?
was on me.
Hold on.
Alright, that was on me.
What was the game plan?
Listen, he didn't know he was back there. It's lore.
It's lore. He wouldn't have seen him. I threw a bomb at a wall as Olimar, and Louis was behind the wall with a bunch of Pikmin. For some reason, I guess I thought they'd be safe. I blew them up. Silly. I do think... Well, what do I think here? I think it is the worst Pikmin game. I don't think it's the worst Pikmin stream, but I don't think it's particularly strong. I think it's one of my weaker playthroughs. I think it's in B somewhere. I don't think anything too fun happened. I think it was fine though. It was a fine, like, just, you know, chill game, but it definitely didn't hit the highs that Pikmin 2 hit. Pikmin 2 was a lot of fun. I think right here is good for it. The Pikmin's worker union. Oh no. If they unionized, it would be over. I don't think I need to do a grandiose dibs for this. I think it's probably assumed. I am going to do Pikmin 4 someday. Not anytime soon, but I do plan to do it sometime. Probably not for another year at least, because I 100%ed that game, and it's a very, compared to the other three, it's very long. So I wouldn't like to do it again for a while. But you can assume we'll go for 4 at some point. I love that game, so I'd be excited to do it. I think it'll be fun. Alright. Did I see that correctly next? Paper Mario Thousand Year Door? Okay. So, great playthrough. And maybe just after Reload, I think this is my second favorite set of titles. This is the most effort I put into stream titles. Starting around session 2 or 3. I had like a whole document like ready, because like I know the game, so I knew it would be coming up. So I had titles ready for every week. And I'm really happy with a lot of them. So we have Super No Paper, where we had insane tech issues. And I thought the playthrough wasn't going to happen. We invoked Dark the Super again. And when I went to upload it, I literally uploaded in episode 0. Episode 0 was the tech issues, and then halfway through the stream we figured them out, and that was episode 1. We pretended to start stream again, and we had a short first session, and it was really funny, and I think it characterized like part of those early parts of the playthrough. Much like Skies of Arcadia, this is one of my favorite games ever, and I'm thrilled with how this playthrough went, actually. I could not ask for much more. So we have Pedalhead Mario Can Schmoove. That's pretty good. It's still Tiny Tuesday. Because, yeah, we had Daram! That was our title. That was our file name. Drum. Daram! So dumb. They just weren't there. It's still Tiny Tuesday. We didn't really talk about this, but Tiny Tuesday is a thing. There's Pikmin. There is Chibi Robo. There is Custom Robo. And there, if you want to go way back, Bug Fables, if you want to count that. I don't know if that was a Tuesday. I think it was a Tuesday though. No, it wasn't. That doesn't count. I feel like there was another. Maybe not. It might just be Pikmin and Chibi-Robo. And, did I say a third one? It might have just been those two. But this continued the trend because this is the puny chapter. That was the joke here. And yes, Paper Mario Thousand Year Door HD was announced somewhere in the middle of this playthrough. Somewhere in the middle. Somewhere towards the end, maybe. Pretty funny. That's okay. I'm not very spiteful about it. I was happy to be doing this version of the game. And I still haven't played the remake. I played the first, like, the prologue, and that's it. Would you still love me if I was a great boggly tree? This is a Makoto tree joke. But would that have been around this time? I don't think so. I think it was just a callback. God bless the pit. That's like God bless the ring. School of Rock. And then here, guys, in one of these two sessions, it was probably this one, but it might have been this one. It's where we got Spore Joe. It's a Bragg Joe, our pet Yoshi, who I could have never expected would become, like, the guy. But my goal with him was, like, what if we wrote a character so annoying? What if we wrote, like, a Scrappy-Doo, but, like, lovable? The King of Flandersation arc. And also his name is Sporjo. Spelled like this. S-P-O with the 2 dots. R-E-J. And whatever this O-E is called. I don't know. I'm ignorant. I don't know what these are called. But Sporjo. And this is an awesome title. Looks like my summer vacation. Sporjov. Because we were in Twilight Town. P is stored in the creepy steeple. Hilarious. Awesome title. That's a top 10. Why is the cola gone? That's like, why is the rum gone? And guys, this next one, this might be my number one. This might be my favorite title ever. This is a Gilligan's Island joke. It's with Mario, the Admiral 2, the Scholar and the Squire, that's Goombella and Koops, the movie star, which is just the line in the song, that's Flurry, the Dinosaur and Vivienne, here on Flavio's Isle. I mean, come on. We struck gold with this one. This is the best parody title ever that we did. I'm very proud of it. And then we had, what would it be like if Mouse? This is a reference to a Let's Player. I know Sizz knows him. I don't know if anybody else does. Big Dip on a Bus. He had this one part of a Mario 64 ROM hack where he was just spiraling into insanity, and he started singing a song called What Would It Be Like If House? So it's just a reference of that. What would it be like if Mouse? That one's just funny for me, kind of. But I liked it. This one was a little bit of beef. Due to a disabled train at Riverside, shuttle buses will replace service from Rogueport to Poshley Heights. This is an MBTA joke. This is what they say on the train. This is what they say on the Red Line. They hit you with shuttle buses. Last train home. We were still doing the train. Losers Fight First, and Losers Fight First was us going back to the Glitz Pit. That is a Dragon Ball Z title. One of my favorite episode titles in Dragon Ball. Losers Fight First. That's when Hercule fights Cell. Muscle Tower Power Hour. That was the General White chapter. Masterful Gambit, sir. This is also a great one. We had a running gag that the X-Knots was kind of a play on X, or, you know, the Twitter rebrand, and that Grotus was Elon Musk. So, of course, the chapter where we go after the X-Knots was called Masterful Gambit, sir. Very mockingly. And this also probably would have been the stream where we had the famous loss to Magnus 2.0. Where I styled on him the entire battle. The entire battle. It was the cleanest fight ever. And with 1 HP left, he did a move that, like, I messed up the timing on, and he, like, one-shot me. It was the biggest act of hubris ever witnessed, maybe. I destroyed him the whole fight. I was all over him, and then he got me. And we had to refight him. In addition, not only did that happen, he had the last laugh because the entire playthrough, I was joking about how, or I was really like gassing myself up about how we would finish the Tattlelog and I wouldn't miss any of them. And we missed the mini yucks on the moon. Classic guy to miss. And we missed him. And that was thrown in my face at the end here. That I was on Fraud Watch. I became a fraud. The garbage bin was the Fraud Watch bin. When is a door not a door? Does anybody know the answer? Another awesome finale title. Fire burns brightest in the shadows. That's sick. Oh, interesting. When there are certain keys, maybe. This is a good finale. And then this was the post game, the Goombella probation arc, because Goombella got arrested at the end of the credits. A little quick about the party. Goombella liked doing crimes and arson. Koops was a squire. Flurry was kind of just Flurry, but she would say,
blow those boys away!
Whenever she did Gale Force. Sporjo, what? There's a lot to unpack with that guy. Vivian liked cereal, I think. That was her thing. Vivian liked her cereal, and she sounded like Xanthi. Bobbery was just kind of like Drachma again. Did I type in 4? Oh my god, no! Giving it all away. Giving away all my secrets. And, Miss Mouse, was there anything to her? I think Miss Mouse was just Miss Mouse. As far as I recall. Backbow Bobbery. She got away from her mean sisters. She got to have sugary cereal. Fubuki Clockford. So at the end of the credits, Goombella went to jail for all of her crimes. They finally caught her. And so the post-game was her probation. They let her out on good behavior. And then the post-game finale was also just a good one. It was 1,000 years, 100 trials, one final goal. This was the pit. And that was the first time I ever did the Pit of 100 Trials, and it was free. Rogueport had the she at the end. Little Brudge crossing the street. It had Luigi. We had the there was a little guy, what's his name? Dazzle? That freak that was friends with Flaney. It had the Bushi. It had the mobsters. It had the mafia. It had Gus. There was a lot of funny stuff going on. I had a blast with this playthrough. It was very thorough. I got to do a lot of fun challenges for me. We did a lot of badge points and not much else. And I played with some new sets that I had never used before. It was a very fresh experience on a game that I've played many times. I love how we plotted it out. I loved the face cam gimmick. I think it was very consistent in quality. I think every week was fun. I don't think we ever had a real dip at any point. Very happy with it. I think I'm gonna put it pretty high. How high? Ooh. I'm putting it here. I think this is where it goes for me. I'm very proud of it. Yeah, I like it up there. You got the crystal star with Spore Joe. Little shit. He wanted so bad to be in everything. What a ham. What do we got next? Portal 2. This is short. Wow. A very Portal Christmas. I don't know why I called it this. But this was a wild decision on my part to stream this night because I had had surgery a day or two before on my nose. And I was in no shape to be talking on the mic. It probably sounded disgusting at multiple parts. Because there was a lot of blood and other stuff in my nose. This is right here, August 11th, 2023. Yeah, it was probably gross. I specifically remember saying, like, at the very beginning, like, yeah, I mean, I hope it all sounds good. Like, I hope you guys, I hope it doesn't go poorly. And someone was like, yeah, you sound fine, dude. And I was like, yeah, thanks. And then, like, I made a gross sound and I was like, oh. But it's fine because that first session was hilarious, I think. In spite of it all. I think in the first session, did we have the troll under the bridge or whatever asking us questions? Was that session 1? I think that was session 1. We had someone come through asking questions and presenting us gold if we got them correct. Is this it? Yeah, no, I'm listening. That song. Yeah, I get that. Yeah, the motif is there. Yeah. I get it. That's true. I hadn't, like, not picked up on that. Here is a funny one. Smeagol Brain Simulator. Because I guess this might not have been when we were talking about Smeagol Brain, but it would have been, like, close enough to it. I think this was a little after that had kind of, like, left. But maybe not. Maybe this was, like, peak that. But that was funny. This how mess up was Smeagol Brain. What's that from again? Was it like a YouTube comment or like a Twitch chatter? Where did this is how mess up Smeagol Brain is come from? Or was it us? We didn't make it up, right? We're not that bad. Did we come up with that one? That came from a comment, right? Okay. And then we had boil 'em, mash 'em, stick 'em in a stew, which is just a follow-up to this, I guess. I think we were making fun of Wheatley, who was okay. A big running gag in this playthrough is that it was totally Mark. It was Mark. Mark was the robot. Boil 'em, mash 'em, stick 'em, stew. That's pretty good. That was kind of the gag there. But, however, was it really only 2 sessions? Somewhere in the middle here. No matter the distance also, no matter how far. Which one would that be? Yeah. There was a lot of fun physics-based humor in this one, as usual. The lemons. A lot of fun physics-based humor. Cave Johnson, hilarious. Totally Mark was a big aspect. And then somewhere halfway through, obviously we started the co-op featuring Sis16. And that had a different energy from the first half of the playthrough, where it became about Cain and Abel. That was our running gag. Because we were talking about killing each other all the time. Or betraying each other. In a game totally about teamwork. But we kept joking about which one of us was the Cain and which was the Abel. That was a running gag during the co-op, and that's why Cain and Abel could never, because we teamed up and set aside our differences and won. I remember Undead Unluck Brain Rot was huge around this part, because there was one puzzle where we were doing, and I said, "Yo, Sis, that's kind of unbelievable," because there was something we were shooting or something through a portal. But yeah, I think the peak of the first half of the playthrough was the old lab. That was the most fun section, I think. And then co-op was just pretty consistent the whole way through. I have trouble remembering. Was the co-op longer? Is the co-op longer than the base game? I think co-op must have been the 2 sessions and base game must have been the 3. I just don't remember it being 2. Oh, and then I did a bit when I started the co-op, I didn't reveal who it was going to be. And I had a soundboard of totally not Mark voice clips, and I pretended that I got him on the show to play co-op with me. I had a conversation with soundboard totally not Mark. And do I still have it? Hold on. I do. This is my favorite one.
Have you ever read a manga?
To which I answered, "Yeah, Mark, I have." I think he entered with a,
Oh, hey, I didn't see you there.
and I was like, "Oh, what's up, dude?"
Have you ever read a manga?
Yeah, man, absolutely.
People say Fire Punch is good, but yeah, Chainsaw Man, highly recommended. Watch it, read it, put it in your face.
What's this one?
Assassination Classroom.
Oh.
Actually, the technical term is artificial intelligence.
Oh, this is about Wheatley, yeah. It's funny stuff. Totally Mark. funny playthrough. I had a good time. I don't know if I was firing on all cylinders throughout it, though. I think I struggled with some puzzles. Yeah, no, it's totally not Mark. But I don't know if I brought the entertainment like the whole way through. Maybe that's just how I feel about it. But looking back on it, I feel like I like dipped every now and then. Do I think it's better than the first playthrough? It's hard because the first one's so dense. You know, it was a 1-session playthrough. And it was funny the whole way through. But it's a short game. And this one was probably funny the whole way through that first session. But I think the first one is just a little more iconic to me. I think it would be something like this, maybe. Maybe like this. Definitely a better game. Absolutely. But I think the playthrough just like wasn't quite up to standard. I think it was pretty good though. It's still an A rank. And it's still a pretty decent A rank. But I think this is where I'd put it. You like Portal 1 more? I do like it, like, pretty... I think it's pretty close. I think a lot of people would just say that 2 is just definitively better. I think it's close. I think my thing with 2 is that it's longer than I think it needs to be. And I think 1 has the shock factor that 2, like, can't really have. Because you already know. So I think 1 does have legs to stand on. But I think the old lab area and all like the physics puzzles are where 2 really thrives. So what's next? Tales of Vesperia. All right, buckle up. Yeah, that is pretty much what they're doing. Considering 1 was basically a tech demo. Tales of Vesperia, Definitive Edition. So, continuing the trend of Symphonia, where we had settled on like a naming scheme for the titles. Hi, sis. We continued that here, and some of them got crazy. And this was a very long playthrough also. But we started with, Sir, is that dog smoking a pipe? Because all I knew going into Tales of Vesperia is that there was a talking dog and he smokes a pipe. And I knew like what some of the characters looked like, but I didn't know anything about the game. I knew a little from Project Cross Zone, and that's it. I knew there were guilds. I knew who Yuri, Estelle, and Flynn were, but I didn't know them well. So all I had to go off of was that there was a talking dog that smoked a pipe. And so that was session 1. And then from there we had... I don't want to read all of these out loud because it's a lot. It's like reading an essay. But we can try. We had Yonde is the Lord's Day, Yuri. We had... Wow, Estelle, your handwriting's horrible. And the joke here is that in session 2... Estelle says something like, people with bad handwriting are usually good people, or something. And so this is a compliment for Estelle Yonde. We had Carol, buddy. Hey, you still got any of those camping kits handy? This is where I started realizing the game was really hard on hard mode. Because for these first 4 sessions, we played on hard mode. And then I got Walt. and I had to drop off of hard mode because it just was not benefiting the stream. And it was a great decision because I don't think this playthrough would have been as good as it was if I had kept hard mode on. It would have been a lot longer, a lot more negative. I think I would have been angry at a lot of points. And so here it was, come on, Rita, chill out. No way you thought hard mode would last. Because we dropped off hard mode. We had any words for your adoring fans, Rapide? It's okay, take your time. It's because Rapide talks, guys. But he's a little camera shy, you know? He's a little camera shy. Yes, no, hard mode was crucial to session 1 because that gave us the whole Zoggy everything. It gave us Zoggy. Where I spent an hour on the first boss. I spent an hour on the very first boss. Retrying constantly and rehearing the dialogue over and over, and I was worried. I was worried about where this would go. But I think it characterized the beginning of the playthrough really well. We have, what are you going to spend your Estelle bucks on, Judy? Because by now we had already come up with the idea that Estelle was in charge of the budget. And that's why we were always poor. Because she would give out money like it was candy. And that's where Zabrag funds came from eventually. There was definitely a session where it was probably this one, where we were just poor. We had no money. Oh, it might have been here, actually. We had no money, and the joke was that, like, Estelle was in the inn eating a nice pot roast with Flynn, and the rest of the party was sleeping on a park bench. They were sleeping out in the rain. All because she was spending all that money. Wait, what were you up to over the break, Raven? I must have gone on vacation or something. We had another repeat day here. Someday they'll understand you, repeat. Someday they all will. I think that's because, technically, you can't play as Repeat at the beginning of the game. You have to get an item specific for him to play as him, for whatever reason. You have to get an item for everybody. But you can just play as all the humans for one item, and then you just get an item for Repeat for whatever reason. So this was the real first Repeat episode. This was, you're planning on sticking around, right, Patty? Patty? Because I really wasn't convinced that she would. This was Scholastic Sunday, where we all dressed in the school uniforms. It was, shoot! Estelle, please, I forgot to do the homework. Please, let me copy off of you! This was Baul Bunday. Funny story, Baul. You're actually not the first flying whale creature I've flown with. That is a Scuzechi reference. We have, don't worry, Rita. I'm sure Raymond is happy in his new home. Rita? Because we had a bit that, Rita had a Switch, she played a lot of Animal Crossing, and she loved all the cat characters, especially Raymond. And Raven played her Switch while they were hanging out in town, and accidentally sent him away. And he invited Beardo the bear. He sent her whole world crashing down. We had Listen Up, Flynn. You got big shoes to fill. Don't you think about running away in them. This is kind of spoilery, but not actually. It was it was a fake out. But Flynn had to step up here, and I knew he was going to have to leave the party. But I really didn't want him to. We had, our pockets have felt too heavy lately. Let's fix that, Yuri. That was us going to save Estelle. Because our pockets felt too heavy. We needed someone to spend our money. This was the Christmas episode, Carol of the Stells, or the alt title, Rudolph the Rita Bass Art. We had Patty New Year. She'll be hosting the Congress Ball Drop. This would have been, I don't know, Raven. Get hella bands doesn't seem like a promising resolution around here. This would have been a Mega Man reference because Mega Man was coming out. Hey, have a good day at work, sis. I loved it too. It's gonna do well. Because I think that Raven's run cycle reminded me of the Mega Man video. Don't worry. Yeah, I'm reading them all. This is a funny one. Repeat where you're going to, and once you get there, what you think you're gonna do. That's the cheat song. Estelle, I'm worried the baby thinks people can't change. That is when Estelle and Rita found a baby. This is a classic one. You can tell where this happened. And then he used Crimson Bullet, Judy. It was wicked sick. You just had to be there, honestly. Right, Bao? This was the day after we had watched that episode of Undead Unluck, where they showed Crimson Bullet like 4 times. This is a really funny one. Make up your mind already, Fugo. This is getting pathetic. This was Fugo Fun Day. Because I think we invoked Fugo in this session. Fugo was just there. We had... Oh boy, there's more. Alright, we had Flynn, have you finished those errands? We had... Yo, Rita, you got anything in those books about Andes Komeji? This is about Will. This was that weekend or 2 weeks where Will didn't know who Andes Komeji was. We had any chance you know how to whip us up a shortcake carol? This would have been the Coliseum. Because this is a reference to the Symphonia playthrough. Where Lloyd was always using the shortcake in the Coliseum. This is definitely one of the most iconic sessions to me. Raven, repeat, let's wee some sand. Where I made a video. I made a Naruto AMV to introduce the Wee Sand Wars. The Wee Sand Wars. Where Repeat has a side quest. Repeat is a dog, a talking dog. He has a side quest where he has to piss all over the world to mark his territory. Against a rival wolf creature. And Raven, for whatever reason, loves the desert, which we called the Wee Sand, even though the Wee Sand is the cave. The Wee Sand is the cave, but we deemed the whole desert the Wee Sand. Because it has sand in the name. And Raven owned that desert. He owned that continent. And these two were also secretly buddies. And so they teamed up for the final push on the pissing quest. And it was a big session, and the running gag that whole session was that, like, Raven was convinced they were filming a movie. And we kept cutting back to just, like, ridiculous scenes of them, like, just getting into character and just being stupid. It was a lot like that episode of The Office, where Michael has his movie, whatever it's called. I forget what it's called. It was a lot like that. That was the kind of energy it brought. Really funny session. We have in a one-on-one fight always bet Patty. This was a JJK joke because Patty had idle death gamble. And then here's the finale of the main story, where we had don your hats, brave Vesperia, and shine brighter than any star. Because the black hat accessory, we decided was the symbol of the guild, and that hat had so much power. And so we did a couple post-game sessions. We had Skuzechi Look, the post-game Skuzechi. Oh, sorry guys, just thinking of an old friend. This was Dragon Quest XI too. I know I said Symphonia was, but this was the real one. This is the sequel to Dragon Quest XI. Pretty much. I mean, Symphonia was, but this is like the true, I think, like, passing of the baton for me. It just had a lot of the same energy. And so going into the post game, it was just funny to invoke Skuzechi, because that was a bit in that. This is where the cast became self-aware more than ever. Okay, guys, we got you a brief renewal, but Mr. Connery ain't coming cheap. Rapide was a talking dog, and he was voiced by Sean Connery. That's an important aspect. But you know, he's an expensive man. we gotta hurry up with this post game. And so this was the final session. That'll do, Mr. Kozakura. That'll do. Where we got to the post game dungeon, we got pretty far into it, and realized it just wasn't like feasible. It's basically like a New Game Plus thing. You have to grind like eternally to stand a chance at those lower levels. And I was like, you know, I think we've had our fill. I think this was an awesome playthrough. I think we can stop it here. We did pretty much everything else. Very thorough playthrough. Very fun. Wonderful cast. I had so much fun with them. Like Snack was saying, they were like developed. They grew over time. Raven is one of my favorite, just anything from any of these streams ever. But Estelle is awesome. I loved Rita. I loved Carol. Repeat was funny for me. Judy had the whole bit with, oh, Tybor. A name she made up for a man. His name was Rich. She thought Baul was a cute little video game creature in her head. The outfits were a big deal. The hat was an important accessory, but a lot of the other outfits were just like iconic to the characters sometimes. She had a crush on that man only to find out that he that Tybor wanted the polycule. But very much like Judy thought that the Rich and what's her name? Was it Sarah or something? I don't know. The girl that Karen. Rich and Karen, I think. He thought they were brother and sister, and then it turned out no, they were just lovers, and they wanted Judy to be in on it. And then Judy was like, huh. Yeah, she was a head empty Robin. That was kind of her deal. She would say, Moonlight Blade. So funny. Something wacky was always happening to Carol. He was always getting into some trouble. The poor kid. Frog Boy. Oh, that was funny. Rita was always checking, like, Raven. And, hanging out with Estelle. God, there was a lot to love. Patty would always say, "I." That's just in the game. Oh, I loved it. All the towns were funny. There was Hanks. There was Kaufman. Kaufman was so funny. Yeah, Yuri and Carol being like, we want Kozakura. We're making a deal with you. We want Kozakura. And Kaufman was like, Kozakura is not even my guild. What do you want from me? I just imagine Yuri like slamming his hand down on the table and leaning forward, and Carol just like arms crossed, like staring her down. They drove that woman insane. Jabra guy on the way. It's not. It'll happen. I promise. I made a pact. Yeah, we got 3 emotes out of this one. But apparently a 4th will be on the way. I love this cast. I loved this playthrough. And something I want to say about it, that I feel more strongly than maybe any other stream playthrough, is that I think every single session had like something fun and something just like defining about it. And I never felt like off. I felt like I brought my A game every week. All the side content gives so much material to play off of. I never felt like we had like a real lull in anything. And I even made the boring stuff funny. Like the Wii Sand would have been a boring session, but it's an all-timer session because we just made it funny. And it's thanks in part to just having like a strong, fun cast that we made. I played off these characters in such a fun way. I loved them all. And so this is definitely one of my favorite playthroughs, easily. Yeah, Raven, an all-timer. So, where do I put it? Where are we? Right now? I do this. VLR has been dethroned. It is no longer number 1. I have Vesperia up here at the moment. Will it take number 1? We'll see by the end. But right now it's number 1. Yo, I like the song. Knocked everyone up at me. If this stays at number 1. Actually, don't tell me. I'll find out after. So what's next? I think it's Awakening. Do I want to talk about this now? Because this is season 1. I'd rather... Yeah, no, it started next. Well, that's how we've been doing it. So let's do it that way. In terms of sheer amount of sessions, I think 19 plus 22. What is that? Did I say 19 plus 22? That's what, 41? And where are we? Okay, no. I think it has the second most amount of sessions. Just pure week to week. It is our 4th longest playthrough, but second most amount of sessions. And this is the playthrough of like any of these in the past 2 or 3 years, even more than Sky's. This is the playthrough I was most nervous about, period. I was so nervous about this playthrough because I didn't know how it was going to go. I didn't know if it would be entertaining. I didn't know if I could make it funny. I didn't know if I could keep talk through all the maps and everything. And I think early on it was difficult. But over time we eased into it. And also a very unique thing about this playthrough is that we split it in half and did it in 2 seasons. Which famously, channel saving move. I will keep saying that. If I had done it any other way, other than canceling it, which obviously that's not, an option, there was no way to make it work like this, other than what I did. I'm very glad I made that decision. So let's just go down the line, and things will come to me as we read through these. We had Savior of the Franchise. I'll be the judge of that, because everybody talks about how Awakening saved the franchise. I love this game. This is a joke. I already know this game. Estalice! Oh, poor Estelle. Estelle. I liked to pick on her. She could never cook that chicken and fries. She could never. Her full name is Estelise, and we used to give her the full name. Oh, Estelise. That's kind of where Zebra sort of came from. We had Old MacDonald had a farm, skibbity dop dop dop. Which is very strong, I think. Because I knew we'd be getting Donald this session. And Grillbacks, our main character, was called Skibbity by Crom. Because Snack and Will really wanted to name him Skibbity. Because it was a week where we wanted to be annoying. And great job doing so, because it added such a funny element to the playthrough. We had, are there any other Marths I should know about? We had, alright, here we go. Aren't you glad I didn't say ban Anna? That's number 6, baby. Oh, reliable. Anna Banana also would come to be way later. Anna Banana. We had a game of Hot and Cold. I forget exactly what that was about. Might have been... I think we were in the desert. I don't know what the cold is about. We had Winchilda Waiting Room. We had... beautiful weather we're having on this May 12th at 9:58 a.m. Hey, skibbity. This is, post-time skip. The androids are attacking. Maybe it was because of the night? How so? We have here, that's the last time I asked Plegia for a cup of sugar. This was the Cynthia session. And I think this was the first, like... This was like... Oh, of course, we were in the desert that's hot during the day as it is cold at night. That's right. That was probably it. This was the Cynthia session, where I think the playthrough, like, leveled up in real time. I think a lot of funny stuff happened here. This was Chris Moments. That was the beginning. It was that chapter with on the Isle of the Carrion Isle, which was a funny map. Snack's computer broke that night, so he was off. And it was a really long session. So we did Carrion Isle. We got Lucina. And then we went and we did the Cynthia map, where I was like pretty sleep deprived. You know, it was one of those like late night ones. And we just had a blast. I think that's also where I decided that Grillbacks is gonna marry Maribel instead of Anna. That's where we dropped Anna, and I was like, it's Maribel. And this is probably, this, either here or here is where we dropped Olivia. For Anna. But so much funny stuff happened here. This is where the doc got thrown out. There was a doc for this playthrough. I had it all planned out. I had decided everything before the playthrough, and I threw out so many of those decisions in real time. Doc was so fraudulent, dude. I didn't adhere to it, like, I did for the most part, like, realistically, but, like, there were so many things I threw out. We had Lucky There's a Family Guy. This is because Sully was Lois, and this is where we got Kelly. And I love Kelly. Kingo will never let this go. And that's funny. We had In the Court of the Turquoise King, Zabragnil. He's definitely not turquoise, but I started and I had to stick with it. Turquoise is not the shade that he is, but that's fine. We had the Candyman Can't. This is Gaius, because this must have been the map where Gaius famously threw. And from then on, he would be known as the Fraud for the rest of the playthrough, because he would throw all the time. He was a constant liability. We had Showdown at Dark City. This is where we did the Yaz and the Kaz. That was a funny one. Wedding Bells for Maribel. Awesome session. This is where we had the wedding. This is where we got Morgan. I think that map was so funny. We read off the guest book. The guest book that I made for it. Crom got the venue wrong. He had his own B-plot where he was trying to keep it a secret. We've Rocked the Dragon. This would have been... What would this have been? Rock the Dragon. This would have been Nah, probably. Or an attempt at Nah. Because we failed at that map. That's where we forgot about Tharja. In the Court of the Turquoise King 2, One Who Kneels. That's where we got Noir. And then probably won the Nah map. And then this is funny. Oh my god, we forgot about the Conquest of Valm. We spent these sessions getting all the kids while the plot was on hold. We moved it forward slowly in between, but... and then we had Roof Emblem, which is a One Piece joke, Roof Piece. Ghosts from Tomorrow. That's a Dragon Ball episode. And then here was the finale of Season 1. I just want to grill for Naga's sake. I think that's pretty funny. And then here is where we were like, okay, this playthrough is taking a lot longer than I think, or than I thought. Persona 3 Reload comes out next week. I want to play that on Fridays. If we keep playing this, we will not be playing it for a few months. Let's revisit Fire Emblem. The plan originally was let's revisit it after Reload. Well, my friends, if I had planned to do that, we would be starting Fire Emblem Awakening Season 2 next week. Now. Or no, not even. We'd still be doing the answer. Oh my god. Glad we didn't do that. I probably, maybe I would have broken it up. Who cares what I would have done, because it's not what I did. What I ended up doing is we were doing Nirvana Initiative on Tuesday at the time. And then we started Wind Waker. And somewhere around the beginning of Wind Waker, I was like, hey, I want to do this stream that we're doing right now. I was like, I want to do this like soon. But it doesn't feel fair for Fire Emblem to only be half complete. And I also want to get Reload on there when we do it. Or while we're doing it, because it was like a prestige playthrough already, I felt. And Xenoblade 2 was happening. And I was like, okay, I want those to like end up on this. I need to finish Awakening. What if we do it on Tuesdays? After Wind Waker, and we put everything else on Tuesday on hold, because nothing on Tuesday was too pressing. Tuesday can just happen whenever. And so, let's see, February 2nd. We came back to it on August 6th for Season 2, and the eternal year began. It really was just an eternal couple months. But, you know, we had... This is a great one. This is a great comeback title. Backsheets back all right. Because I came back with a new Grillback spreadsheet. But this one was just for character info. It was just about character bios. And what all our new reclasses would be. It was a recap episode to bring us back up to speed. And get everything prepared for Season 2, which was the DLC. All the DLC. And all the post-game stuff. And once again, I was like worried about coming back and like having like lost the steam or whatever. And so that's part of why I did this. It was to kind of re-familiarize us all with the characters and what was going on in the game, and hopefully just like find footing again. And I think that was a great move. And what I came back with, this wasn't planned immediately. This is something I thought of between sessions. Very much thanks to Snack, who was doing the Destiny challenge. I was like, hey, would it be cool if I also did something with a wheel in my playthrough? I just wanted to check if it was cool, and he was cool with it. And I was like, cool. I'll put my own spin on it anyway, just to keep it like different. And we brought in the Wheel of Welcome, which I think was an awesome idea. I'm so glad we did it. I think it brought such a fun energy to this second season. It gave us a chance to rotate characters all the time. It made for some interesting challenges. It did make me suffer outside of stream, where I had to keep a very large amount of characters up to par. But it was worth it because I think this was an awesome playthrough. We had ground control to Major Crom, which was just a title I had saved for a while. I thought it was funny. I don't think it had anything to do with anything. We had Lucina's the Drink, Lucina's Liquidity. This was when we were big on the drink, and Lucina was a big Trunks fan. We had His Rump is not likely to appear in the court of the Turquoise King 3. Like Rush Hour 3. We had Today's Show is brought to you by the letter Y. This was, Crom hated the letter Y, and this is when we got Emran. And Yenfei. Very Y-based stream. We had the Good, the Bad, and the Donnie. We had push-ups, sit-ups, and a whole ton of juice. This was when I did a bit of a training arc, because we just weren't ready to do the hard content. This is when the DLC got hard. We had Hubba versus the Elysian Royal Court. That's when we finished the last Hubba map. We had In the Court of the Turquoise King 3, Eternal Radiance. This was the Path of Radiance map. Or rather, just, I think, the Ike map. And this is where I debuted Zabragniel. So this was the last Hubba map, actually. This is where Zabragniel showed up, and this is where Zabrag Tablet showed up. 28 streams later, almost perfect. Almost a perfect stream title, but if you do the math, it's actually the 30th stream. But this was like the haunted zombie map. Give me 1 sec. This one we struggled with. I had to grind between. We lost near the end of it. Actually, I don't think we did grind. But this is that one that was like really hard, and I got to the end of it and lost, and I had to like play back up to it. The one with all the spikes on the floor. We have 5 9 to make a 45. This is an Anna joke. Curious Incident of the Dock in the Nighttime. That was the hardest map we did. That was the roster rescue one where Frederick was hilarious and Tharja was funny. That was a good one. Walhart was crazy. Trust Nobody, Not Even Your Grill Self. That was the Spring of Truth or whatever. Path of Fraudulence. That's a really good title. That was the Priam map. The Yappiest Place on Earth. The Beach That Makes You Gab. And where the springs are hot and the goss is hotter. These were the 3 maps that almost made me die from talking too much. But there was so much content on these, so it was worth it. It was funny. These are the scramble maps where the characters just have like faux supports. And there was a lot of dialogue to read. And then we had Angels in the Outrealms. That was Apotheosis. One of the hardest maps. One of the hardest things we've done on stream. Pretty proud of it. Great title as well. And then lastly, we have the finale trio of History of Lucina, The Lad's Stand, and another one of my favorite finales, The Future is a Blank Spreadsheet. Does it get much better than that? I mean, it's so thematic. It's so final. I love this one. Great playthrough. Very happy with it. Probably the highest effort playthrough we've had. I put a lot of work into this inside the stream and outside the stream. Lots of time went into it. Like 200 hours of playing, maybe. I made a lot of content for it. We made an ending. We made an ending presentation that had poor audio quality, but whatever. I re-uploaded it on YouTube with better audio. I was sick. There wasn't much I could do. I had to make it on short notice, or the voiceover at least. But I think presentation-wise, it was perfect. I loved it. I loved making that. And what else? We recently did the character tier list, so I don't think I have to talk too much about the characters, but we had a great cast. We ended up using, I counted, the army was 39 units large. And not all of them were like fleshed out characters, but they were, you know, it was fun to have a big cast like that and like try to rotate around them. The wheel really helped with that. And I think I'm ready to do another Fire Emblem again someday. We'll be doing Path of Radiance at some point. I don't know when. It's a ways down the line. And that'll be a lot different because that's going to be blind as opposed to this where I had planning to do. So that'll have a different energy. But I'm looking forward to doing it someday. So where does this go for me? I think I'm going to put it right here. Very proud of it. Very happy with it. I think we kept it pretty entertaining most of the time. There were definitely lulls here and there. But I think for a game that is so tough to talk over, I think we did a great job with it. And a lot of love went into it. I poured a lot of love into it. So let's go back up. We have Nirvana Initiative. We have This New Tale of Mine. We have an S-tier reunion. And we have I Asked Tama for a stream title, and you won't believe what happened next. So, this right here, I remember an aspect of this playthrough is that I was really struggling for titles. I think a lot of them were bad, and I hadn't felt that in a long time. It was tough to come up with them. I think the first good one was here. But Doctor, I am Andes Komenchi. And I also think this might have been the first, like, great session of the game. I think this playthrough got off on a weird foot. I had trouble finding my footing with this one. Surprisingly. I don't know if that's surprising anybody or not, but I was a little worried about it at the start. I didn't think it was hitting. I didn't think I was doing a great job. But we eventually got a lot better around it. And and yes, there was another copy pasta for this one. Right around here, it started to get pretty good. I would say. And we have Confessions of a Teenage Mermaid. That is a Sizz title. He gave me that one. We have So, You Want to Be a Master? We have Kanaiza Janai Kagami Da. Awesome title. Can you tell what I was watching? I would have started Gintama like a month or two before, I think. Well, a month or... No. I started around the time the playthrough was starting. But I think this title's awesome. Yeah, this is where it started. Didn't really affect the playthrough otherwise. We have the Horodori House of Evolution going through puberty. This was an awesome session. We have It's Terror Time again. Door dashing my daughter to the hospital. Is the glass half full or half empty? What if I told you it's both? Just some cryptic, like, stupid thing that, like, an Uchikoshi character would say. And then here was the finale title. Me, Myself, and I. I think that's a great one as well. And then we have... if the boys want to reach S, they'll have to keep up. A great tier list stream title, I think. Pretty happy with these like later ones, for sure. I don't want to talk about the game too much, because I know Will is in the middle of it. But I will say, I did say that I would talk about my opinion of this game versus the first one and which one I like more. Because I don't, oh, what? Okay. I don't think I've made clear my stance on the two games. I think, as a whole, I like the first game more. At least the story. But the second game has a lot of good gameplay changes. And stream-wise, just because I think the beginning had a rougher start, I think I liked the first stream better, the first game. Even though this one had some really peak sessions, I think the first game was better all the way through. That's how I feel about this one. So I think this was a slight downgrade for us, but not by much. I think I would probably still have it like right up there with it, or near it. I think I might do this. Final Fantasy IX right in the middle. I still want them to make a third one. Please. I will play it endlessly. Such a fun game to play. Alright, we're almost at the end here. I would like to wrap this up as well because we're actually going to dinner tonight. I don't want to keep my family waiting. Can you imagine if we tried to push through on Friday? If we did, I would have been just rushing, is the thing. And that wouldn't have been good. Okay, so where are we? Are we at reload? Yes. We just talked about this, so I don't think I need to spend a lot of time on it again. But I do want to go over the titles very quickly because I'm very proud of all of them. And I literally have another link to it. Because I did these as episode titles. And the goal when I set out was, I remember messaging Snack and saying, what if I did them all in the style of a Gintama title? Because I love how that show does their episode titles. And so I committed to this idea. And so, because this is what I named the first session, just on a whim. It was, you guys, do you even have a Fuka? Because that is the first episode on Crunchyroll. It's technically not the first episode of Gintama, but it kind of is. I still don't know the deal with it. It was like an OVA or something before it was a real show. I don't know. But I'm very proud of like all of these. We had Washing Your Hands is 60% of a strong first impression. We had Dragon Ball as a universal language. Secrets shared over dinner are the most sacred of all. I need to zoom out a little. We had a bathroom as a room where wars are fought and where peace is found. A holiday is the gamer's work day. Sharing a fridge is like sharing a bed if you think about it. Elders value your company more than you can comprehend. The ones in bold are my favorites. We have if a seat is open on the train, please just sit down. This would have been Kazuichi Purple. Komeji Orange. This is funny because we just had Women's Day. This was Women's Day last year. Boys, remind the women in your lives how much they mean to you. We had sometimes it's better to explain the joke. This was a Mitsuru joke. I love this one. Some Romans believed in ghosts. This is about how Yukari was afraid of ghosts. And I think I just saw this in an article and was like, that's funny. What if I made that a title? It means nothing. But like, it sounds like something they would do in that show. This was Fuka. When life gives you lemons, consider a career change. A cool jacket changes everything. That's where we got the drip. This is a good one. Navigation requires concentration. Please do not tap the glass. What's yours is mine, and what's mine is the landlord's. That's Zabragkutski. This was Swine Flu, Swine09. Time away only makes work more stressful when you get back. I think I had gotten back from a vacation. You can dig a man a well, but you can't make him drink from it. This is about Fushimi. This was an awesome one. I liked all 4 of these. This is where we went to the Love Hotel, and then there was a lot of Shinji content. Wear proper protection before connecting to hotel Wi-Fi. This is kind of a Scotchy joke. We have one man's trash is another man's estate. Poor escalator etiquette should be punishable by law. This is about Elizabeth. And I love this one as well. This was about midterms. You can't spell academics without a few C's and a D. These are great ones. I love these 4. Then we went to the beach. We had every body is a beach body, baby. That's kind of a space dandy. This was I guess robots are just people without the extra baggage. And this is a Kaz title. Sticks and stones may break your bones and may also leave permanent scarring. Lead the way by following at a safe distance. This was a Tartarus, I believe. Mixed nuts and dried fruits work wonders on cardiometabolic health. This is about Maiko. This is about Take Minakata making trail mix. We could all use a good walk every once in a while. Koromaru. Cool as a state of mind. That's a good one. Act your shoe size, not your age. That's about Ken. Assigned seating charts can determine your life's trajectory. That was when Blue Scrunchy got kicked. Tough guys with a soft spot for animals typically do well on popularity polls. This was Shinji joining the party. We were stuck in Tartarus for a long time here. This was all Tartarus, I recall. There's nowhere to go but up. A boy will promise, but a man will commit. That was like a serious title. That was about the like Shinji Link episode. Cough into the phone a couple times when calling out sick, but no more than twice. That's when Persona Q happened. That's when Spruzino got sick. You can't watch your back with your eyes on the prize, Tartarus. Don't grow up too fast or you'll wear the brakes. This was Maiko again. This was DJ Lizzie. You're not partying hard enough if you can still hear yourself think. This is when we were at our lowest. If you fall down 7 times, get on your feet 8 times. Oh, this is a great trio. Fortune favors the foolhardy. Friendship is temporary, brotherhood is eternal. And then a life without pain is a life without joy, without fun. This is Yu Yu Hakusho. This was Wheel of Fortune. This was Plot. You can probably tell. We had like a sloth, make all your moves with purpose. That's where I just got the sloth. Heed the wet floor sign lest you fall in love. We have au revoir. It means peace out. I love this one. You don't need a license to drive someone nuts. Awesome one. This is one where we were running around the school, doing a bunch of quests, and we kept going back to Yukari to start her link, and then I was like, oh wait, we gotta do something else. We gotta go talk to Mr. Ono. We gotta go talk to, like, blah, blah, blah. Like, that was that one. This was Halloween. These three. This was the Halloween arc. Walk a mile in someone else's clothes. Sweet tooth can prove dangerous. Kids, don't open your door for strangers. Two wrongs sometimes make one slightly less wrong. I think this was just named this for, we had a fusion failure that actually turned out kind of alright. The higher you fly, the further you can fall. That was that last shadow that falls from the sky. And then this is Akutsuki. A broken appliance just hasn't been hit hard enough yet. Great one. Life is just a game of musical chairs. That would be Ryoji. You simply can't put a price on friendship. This is Mitsuru. It's expensive to make memories was Kyoto. And I think this one came from a conversation me and Rinslet had about we wanted to get a Polaroid for the trip, and then we looked at the price and we were like, nah. And I think one of us said this, and I was like, I'm using that as a title. It's a good one. It's expensive to make memories. A few things in this world are as warm as the heart. That's Chidori. That's a serious one. That's the rare serious one. Here's another serious one. No matter what happens, the sun will always rise tomorrow. That's Akinari. This was the job arc. You're technically getting paid to use the bathroom on the clock. Smile and nod to stay popular in the workplace. Money is no object until it's for someone you don't like very much. Buy a plunger before you need a plunger. I like that one. A picture is worth a few choice words. This is about Keisuke. This was the Mitsuru arc. Utensils are a suggestion, never a requirement. Hey, it's never too late to start living, and a good movie can change your life. This was Christmas. This was the Christmas and New Year's arc. Santa sees everything you do, especially in the bathroom, sicko. You weren't scammed if you got everything you wanted and more. That's Gourmet King. We were in Tartarus around here. We were in Tartarus here. Just remember to forget about it. That's the bad ending. Wish hard enough and it will happen. That was when Blue Scrunchy came back for New Year's. Flesh or Steel, a girl is a girl. This is the Aegis link. This is one of my favorites. 2 is a couple, 3 is no longer. This is where we turn down all the girls. But it has a double meaning. It has a triple meaning. The triple meaning is that I still, going into this one, wasn't sure. I was thinking about... I thought about the thruple. But the third meaning is that this was episode 100. It's no longer 2 digits. We're in the triple digits. That's why I like this one so much. It's funny. A sandwich is only as good as the bread it's constructed upon. That's a Junpei one. Phones were invented to connect people. That's the end of the Yukari link. I like wash your rice until the water runs clear. That's a good one. The heart is an illogical organ. That was the end of the Aegis link. And sometimes you really do need to reinvent the wheel. That was the Wheel of Welcome in P3. And then lastly, we had the finale. I liked these. The last day of school is never long enough. Male bonding takes many forms. This was the boys versus Strega. Breaking the seal is a myth. I love this one. This was the final boss. And Breaking the Seal was about Spruzino. And it had like a double meaning. There are layers to it. And then the finale was No Matter How Far. It had to be. And Tearless Night, I also love this one. For a little context, in Gintama, there is a popularity poll arc. And the titles of the episodes are like, it's like, popularity polls stink. And then it's like, popularity polls can burn in hell. And then the last one is like, popularity polls, ellipses. And so I was like, popularity polls can go suck a lemon. I think this one's awesome. And I will be continuing this into the answer. That is my plan. I have more. Keep a gimmick going if you have it. Why not? But this was my magnum opus of stream titles. I mean, I just had so much fun doing this. I have a note on my phone with like 1 billion more. Once we finish the answer, I'll show you the rest that didn't get used. But now I have to shoot. Oh, I can't do this. Okay, let's do this for a sec. Boom. We're back. So I already talked a lot about this playthrough last week. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I was having a blast the whole time. I love this cast. I think it renewed my love for P3. And it may be... I think it's my favorite cast that we've had on here. I still have fun just like thinking about wacky hijinks whenever they come up. And I think that probably shows. And I think, for the time being, I'm putting it up at number 1. That's where it is right now. That's where I'm at. So, what do we have left? I think next is Wind Waker. Okay. If Reload was number 1, Thousand Year Door was number 2, Awakening might be number 4, Wind Waker is number 3 for stream titles. This was an experiment that I think worked out in an extremely stupid way. I'm not explaining these, except I am going to. The thesis of this playthrough was, so the original Wind Waker playthrough died, and I dropped it. And we made this joke about what if there was a Wind Waker timeline where Zebra had continued Wind Waker, and so many different things happen. And so when I set out to do this playthrough, it was a bit of like an AR game almost, where we were in that dimension. And the joke with the titles was like, what if all these alternate things had happened at the stream? But the second layer that it eventually took on, I think starting with session 3, was how can I relate it to what we're doing? And that was ambitious. And it wasn't always... Some of them were stretches. But a lot of them weren't. I kind of like worked a lot of these out pretty well. It's a Sora. That's good. That's rich. So we started off with what if Zabrag Woohoo was Marie instead. That was an easy thing to start with because I think it's a safe thing to say that Zabrag Woohoo is like my main emote. It's used everywhere. It is a vocal tick at this point. So I was like, that we can start with that one very easily. What if we had chosen Marie instead of Rise? And then the second session was what if instead of Dumbanland, the trio founded the Melia Mall. This wasn't really... Oh, I wanna be a girl. This wasn't really the gimmick yet of trying to relate it to what we were doing, except I think it kind of was because I think we started Xenoblade 2 this week. So it kind of worked. First session was hilarious also. We did it completely in character, and then I couldn't keep that up for a whole stream, but it was fun for that first session. We were talking as though we weren't ourselves, and it was the most insufferable thing ever. No one was able to communicate. Session 3, what if the Okami face cam had been literally anyone else? This is a joke about Kami. What if it wasn't Kami? The joke was that the Rito were all Namekians, and so it was Kami. That was what this was referencing. What if Lim was a beloved and respected character in the Zabragburger anthology? This was about the pirates on Windfall, because One Piece. What if instead of Fuka Friday, we'd gone with the Wild Wild Weekend? This was because we were climbing the Tower of the Gods, which, like, was a joke about Tartarus, kind of. Yeah, the Postman is the Piccolo of Wind Waker. We had what if Michael had breezed through City Dark Isle? This is a joke about the Forsaken Fortress. What if instead of Purple Skitty, we bet it all on Blue Makuhita? Something that could have happened. This is when we did the auction side quest. This is a really funny one. What if Repeat had been voiced by Christopher Walken? So the King of Red Lions was also a Sean Connery voice. It was a talking boat, which was inherited by Repeat, or from Repeat. And so this whole session, I did a Christopher Walken voice. Also, the fish was Raven. Also a joke about... Oh, this was also... Okay, I wrote this in my notes. This was also a voice acting joke, because Medley had the K-Man girl voice. Yeah, Repeat's a talking dog. Raymond. What if the Cynthia map was a quick, easy, and uneventful experience for us? That is because the Makar voice was the Ruger voice. He'll talk like this. And that was the Makar session. What if I had never perceived a bug in the skies above Windy Valley? This is about Trust the Bug. And it is about Mogera, who was a bug in the Wind Temple. See, I managed to tie these back in somehow. What if I was cracked at Tangrams? This is where we started looking for triangles. And the sliding puzzle happened here. What if Zabrag Wet made the cut? This is Zabragoho. Because a hilarious running gag throughout this whole playthrough was me going, I kind of want a Constance emote. What if? Even though Constance is not a character from any of my streams. But I was like, hold on. We're in another timeline. This is the perfect time to make it happen. It was the year of Constance. And so we brought that with us from an alternate timeline. And if that is not genius navigation, I don't know what is. You can make up whatever you want. We also did the Forest Water quest here. That's why it's a brag wet. My most requested emote that never happened. Zebras were? What if Cards was a full playthrough? There was a lot of side questing and sailing around. What if she attacked her with the fish tank? I think this was the end of Ravenfish. and the end of the big Octo quest. So this is about attacking fish. And then I love this finale title. What if we left it at Steanie? What if the first typo, we left it at that and I didn't make the second typo? We would have been living in a Steanie world and it would have sucked. The Steanie-verse would have been bad. Really fun playthrough. Freeman loved the boomerang. King of Red Lions had a Sean Connery voice. There was a lot of funny NPCs. It had a unique energy. I think it was a very fun playthrough, very chill, fun Tuesday night game for me to play. It was characterized by... Oh! I was having controller issues throughout it, and I managed to work that into the lore. That was the will of Toon Link's past, trying to steer Freeman in another direction, because he was finally the chosen one to break the cycle. And that's funny. This was a very meta playthrough. We had a funny layout for it. And I think I treated the combat in a really funny way. I tried to use everything but the sword when I could. I used the whole animal. Lots of fun sailing around, lots of silly sessions. We had a lot to talk about during these. I enjoyed it. I liked the vibes. I think this is another S. We have a lot of S's, I know. But, like, this, again, this is my mark of, like, what I can't improve on any further, and I think brought, like, the best vibes. I'll put it here, I think. I'm gonna put it, like, here. It was good. I liked it a lot. Great playthrough. Alright, what do we have left? We can talk about these two together, kind of. I have them separated pretty deliberately. So, yeah, manga was great today. My chapter of the week, it's tough. Maybe... It was a great week. I would even say One Piece wasn't one of the strongest ones. It was a good chapter. I think either Kagurabachi or Sakamoto is getting my chapter of the week. Both really good chapters. One Piece was great. Akane Banashi was awesome. Kiyoshi was sick. Beethoven was great. Ichi was good. Man, nothing was like off. They were all good. Everything was great this week. Ichi had great color pages. I like where the plot is going, finally, for this arc. Sakamoto had massive lore implications. Kagurabachi made me finally, like... So last chapter, or the last two chapters, I was like, okay, this character's cool now. And now I'm like, okay, this character is, like, fleshed out now. Like, I like this character now. I'm really excited to see where Kagurabachi goes. Kiyoshi was sick. Kiyoshi had his, like, cool main character entrance this week. And I really felt like the aura. I really felt it. I was like, yes, yes, the big time. I'm excited for more of that. And Akane Banashi was really cool. I felt like it had a lot of weight. Martial Saturdays was so funny. And that's manga. The joke, guys, is that Xenoblade 2 and Xenoblade 1 is where I would talk about manga. Xenoblade 2, very long playthrough, but honestly, not as long as I thought it would be. Reload was longer than it, and I think Awakening was comparable to it. This is an interesting one. I'm definitely not going over all of these because I didn't like a lot of these. Titling was hard for this game. But some of the good ones, Owies of the World Assemble. This is funny because we had pulled Owie the Blade. Will was playing Danganronpa, which meant we had Aoi Asahina. And this week was a Toto-centric week for us, an Aoi Toto week. So it was a very Aoi weekend. Where Are Blue Riz? Very JJK. This was the JJK playthrough. In memory of What's His Face, that's a Hear You joke. We had Weidman. This is where we finally started to have a real pulse, I think. It was a very rough beginning for me. Dunban was carrying. A made-up character in the game. I assigned Dunban the role of narrator, and he was carrying. Which was not a good sign. Weidman came in and helped us out. This is a pretty good one. Purple Lightning Ninja Turtles. That's funny. This is a good one. This was Mother's Day. Clear the runway, slay swords. The father plane needs clearance for landing. This was Vale. Build a pop workshop. That's a good one. Yeah, no, it did come together. This is a good one. 4 poppies. Driver Prince Extraordinaire. Zikazor, Zikazor. I think this is when he joined. And this is where I got my second wind. Or maybe third wind. I don't know. I would say this was the Dunban era. This was the Weidman era. And then this was the Zeke era. And like Poppy was consistent all the way through. And those were the characters that like carried the playthrough. And then everybody else got their like individual moments, but those were the constants. The constants! One-eyed, one-sword, rowdy, purple lightning wielder. That's a great one. Teasing Tantal is funny. We had a whole time where we were putting off Tantal. You were her specials. This was JJK finale. And this is about Vale. This was when JJK ended. Ironheart Golden Soul, which I would later have called Crimson Soul on the VOD title. It was just better. This is a funny one. Driver Down, 9 Dragons, Mother Up, Comrades, DDMU. But also Shenmue. Why I Gave the Pope, Tiger Tiger. That's a great one. The Ones Who Lay Claim to Elysium. That's where like the race started, kind of. This is awesome. The King of Mid will be ending in 5 more chapters. This was a gambit, and as you can see, it paid off. 5 more chapters. This was a gambit, and it paid off. The Secret of Nim. That was the Nim session, which was hilarious. Ladies and Gentlemen, The Weekend. Great title. JJK playthrough. Shadow of the World Tree is pretty good. That was Shadow of the Erd Tree. And right behind you, the finale. Awesome. I made a finale video for this, and it was the most like emotional, heartfelt content that I've made for the channel. It was a send-off to Dunban and to the game, and it started off. It was like the perfect blend of like starting off comedy and turning into like an emotional like goodbye. It was a send off to the whole game, and I put a lot of effort into it, and I was so happy with how it came out. Yeah, 10 things I like about Nim. A lot happened throughout this playthrough. I think it went up and down a lot. There were a lot of sessions where I was like jumping around. It's a very hard game for me to play on stream because there's so much to do, and I have a lot of trouble decision making in real time while talking and entertaining. And you could see the like, you could see my brain running a mile a minute, like sometimes just doing nothing and not realizing it. Chasing like candy around or something like. So it was tough to get a handle on sometimes. We had a lot of people come through for this one. Lots of big fans of the game. This was easily my most popular playthrough if you're looking at analytics. This is the most popular the channel has ever been. We were doing good numbers. And I enjoyed a lot of the people that did come through and stuck around. We had some cool chat members who I think were probably just there for Xenoblade. I don't know if they'll stick around, but if they do, or if you're watching or lurking, hey, thank you. I'd be happy to see you stay. And if not, thanks for coming through for that. It was a good time. Very unique playthrough in that sense. And I think my one regret coming out of it was, like, I talked about this at the character tier list. A lot of the cast I just couldn't bounce off of very well. It was the most lost I'd felt in a long time. It's because there's so many, like, side characters, too. And a lot of them were just easier for me to latch onto. And that's fine. I enjoyed the game. I went into this very apprehensive, I would say. I wasn't sure if I was going to like Xenoblade 2. You know, it has a reputation. And I got into it. And I was ready to give it a fair chance. And I did, and it did turn out good. It has a very slow start. Especially gameplay-wise. The systems roll out very slowly. I think they kind of have to, because it gets very complex. But once it starts cooking, and there's a lot of customizability. It's a very fun game, and the plot really kicks it up a notch halfway through. It starts off kind of, you know, run-of-the-mill, but it gets crazy. Like, it gets really good. Amazing soundtrack. What else? I don't think I liked the world as much as the first game. But it still was a pretty fun world to run around in. I think I engaged with it a little less, like the environments. And I didn't like the quest system as much, but the Merc missions were funny. I think if I wasn't streaming this game once a week, the Merc missions would have been bad, but because I had the time in between, I could just go AFK kind of, just let it work. And it wasn't that big of a deal. But yeah, great playthrough. I loved it. One sec. Yeah, Morag, Zeke, and Poppy were classics. Those are the three. So, you know, we had something going for sure. I mean, they are Poppy and Zeke especially, I think, are like like here to stay kind of. The Zeke voice is so fun to do. And we have a Poppy emote. But Morag was funny too. And Pyrocozy. And Cramps was funny. Oh, timing! This song was cool. I liked whenever this played. Well, this is the instrumental, so Bobo probably won't hate it. What else? I don't know. Yeah, a funny element is that I had Zeke in the game, actually, but the voice I did for him was based off of what I what I had heard his voice was from Snack's own playthrough that had a Zeke. That was a funny element. We both had Zeke in our game on Sunday. And we both said goodbye to him the same Sunday, I think. Right? Didn't we? That's pretty funny. But yeah, so here's where it gets interesting. I did block off Torna as like a separate playthrough because I think it really was. I went into it with that energy of it being like a new game, even though it's so heavily tied to the original. Obviously, it's a DLC expansion. But I went into it with the energy of a new playthrough, and I wanted it to be kept kind of separate, which is kind of weird from a ranking standpoint. I think it's going to complicate how I place these. But, and I didn't do this for Future Connected, but this is how I've decided to do this one. And I think it's fine, because it is very separate. Xenoblade 2 has a whole different cast, some familiar faces, some not. But we had Laura Lerline, and we had Fan Lenorn, and we had a Gian, and we had Hugo. It was a funny one. Funny enough, Adam I just played as like Zeke 2 kind of. Which I think actually kind of hindered him, unfortunately. Because I didn't give him room to be his own guy, kind of. Other than in the actual plot. But in terms of like my humor with him, it was just me doing a funny voice again. But not a bad character to have around. Bridget was funny. Minoth sucked. But that was funny about him. And Mithra was funny. Great cast. Jin, Ra. I had a lot of fun with these guys. And the theming behind the titles of this one. So this one wasn't. We had 500 BP before Poppy because it's a prequel. But this is where we decided it was the Roaring 60s. And this single session was one of the most fun streams we've done in a long time, around that time. I loved the energy. I keep getting texts, I'm sorry. Yeah, they were aware that it was the 60s. They were smoking a lot of red pollen. They were listening to a lot of rebellious music. Like, they were aware they were in a prequel. Which was a really funny energy. And because of that, my title theme for these was songs from the 60s. So we had Laura in the Sky with Drivers. We had A Hazy Blade in Winter. This is Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. This is A Hazy Shade of Winter. This is Fortunate Son. Fortunate Son. This is a good one. This is technically 1970. But it's just on the cusp. Bridge Over Troubled Water Blade. Like Bridge Over Troubled Water. We have Go Ask Malos, which is like Go Ask Alice. Which is White Rabbit. And then we had Sympathy for the Aegis. But I left a lot on the table or on the floor. I was confused that expression. But a couple extras I had that I just want to read off. I think I did this because Snack in chat said the times they are a Gian. And I was like, that's funny. That's what I'm going to do for the rest of these. I'll write this one down, but I won't use it since it's already been said. But I might use it. But I also had the Fangry Laras. I had Surrealistic Hugo, which is like Surrealistic Pillow. This is my favorite one that went unused. I am the Malthus. I really wanted to work that one in, but there was never a good opportunity for it. I had Lady Haze all in my brain. I had Ardanian Woman Gonna Mess Your Mind. The Good, the Bad, and the Milton. 21st Century Milton Man. Hey Jin. It's a Blades, Blades, Blades world. Tights and White Satin. That one's really good. Like a Rolling Core. Architect Only Knows. Oh, I really like this one. Me and Bobby Minoff. Mr. Toraganda Man. Dream a Little Dream of Minoff. And I was thinking maybe this for a finale title, but I went with Sympathy for the Aegis. I was thinking The Laraline Sleeps Tonight. And then I wrote down a bunch of others I wanted to come up with parodies of that I didn't. But there are some funny ones in there. And that I had a lot, as you could see. But this playthrough was like a lot of fun. I would even say that in some ways this is hard because the original is such a long game, and there's bound to be some downtime. Because this one was so dense, I had like almost a more positive attitude toward it, but so much of it is built on the shoulders of this. So it's hard for me to rank them, kind of. But I really loved this one. Like, I had a lot of fun with Torna. And the key difference between it and base game, I think I played off the whole cast. And that's what I look for in these RPGs, is a cast that I can just have fun with. And I felt like that was here more than the original, or the base. But the base gave us such good characters and funny streams. We had a lot of fun with the Blade quests. So it's tough. I think I'm gonna put them next to each other for sure. It's just a matter of where was I enjoying it more. The blade pulls, yeah. Oh, narrator Dunman had a story arc throughout all of Xenoblade 2 also. Completely made up presence. And I gave him an entire 40-week character arc. Like, he was on top of the world coming off of Xenoblade 1. He was above all of these, like, new guys. As some real characters started showing up, he was feeling challenged. He realized he was being a jerk. He started rooting for the bad guys, realized how awful that was of him, was depressed about it, and then finally towards the end of the game, he, like, realized what was so special about everything, and he came back supercharged, and he was also into manga. There was one session where he, it was where Malos brought out his cool sword. You know? And Dunban was like, "Oh my god, Raw!" Yeah, and in his own world, he was pushing everyone away. funny direction for him. And he has promised that he will be in Xenoblade 3 in some fashion. I don't know what fashion, but he has made that promise. So let's place it. I'm going to put them both next to each other, I think. And I'm going to put them... This is tough. I see the zone I put them in. I don't know what they beat out. This is a pretty funny placement, actually. If it's what I'm thinking. Yeah. I don't know if this is going to come as a surprise or not. I don't know what the vibe is. But... I'm putting it right next to the original. And I think the original just edges it out a little for me. And Torna? I think the way I have to look at this is I have critiques of the base game playthrough. Whereas with Torna, I think we did a perfect job. And so I might do this, but it's hard. Because this is so much larger and more dense. And there might be more in there. But I just loved the energy brought to this one. I think this is it. I think that's how I put it. I loved this spirit. I loved every week of streaming that. I would say even like compared to P3, like I loved every week of this more than this. I just think this had higher highs. Or kind of roughly similar enough. And so here we are. What the die? Guys, I don't know if we know this. Tai might be number one. What happened here? So the titles here are not that much to write home about. This is a classic Baton Pass title. I love doing a Baton Pass title. I, the Steiner, was a joke about how I can see things that you can't. Ready, steady, tie. This is because we were talking about Melissa. And then we got his paws look like this, so that hers can look like this. That was this week. And here's the future. Whoa. Tie is ongoing, but we're going to be finishing it this week. And I doubt much can change in the last week about where I feel like putting it. This is a stupid playthrough, but it has been very entertaining, I think. I've had a good time with it. I love playing, especially coming off of all of this, like, highly wired, like, we got some visual novels, some RPGs, just running around and playing a platformer again. And one that I have such a unique relationship with because I have played the sequel, and it is a childhood, like, favorite's a crazy word, but, like, it's kind of like a childhood favorite. And I get to play the first one now and, like, experience it backwards and see where all these characters came from, and it's so silly. And Ty thought that skull was Ty Fiora, and that's such a funny element of it. Fiora's in the game. But it's not Fiora, it's Ty Fiora. But it's there's a lot of running around. There's a lot of saying the word Ty. But it's fun also, and I think we're having a good time. There's a lot of insanity happening. There's a lot of me losing my mind. There's beef with the super. Your favorite doesn't have this. There's a lot of gassing up the game. I think it has been fun, and I think it has been entertaining. And as a result, do I think it is S tier? I don't know. What do you guys think? I think it is solidly top of A. I don't know if it's S tier. I don't know if it'll last. But I think it has been very entertaining. And I think up here is, like, good for now. And this could totally be one that in, like, next time I reevaluate this, I might bump it down, I might bump it up. I think this is fair for it. I think it's been a blast. This could be a recency bias. Yeah, last session was very fun. I think that second session wasn't great because of that water level, but I was doing a lot of storytelling, and could not really focus on what was a very complex and confusing level. And so I kind of dropped the ball on that one. It was a big time waster of the stream. But I was being entertaining, I think. Or, you know, I kept the ball rolling, I should say. I don't want to ever be like, oh, I was funny. But I think I was keeping you entertained. And I think that's it, guys. I think this is our list. Yeah. Well, yeah. Definitely there are times where you can tell where you're funny, but here's our new top 5. Reload, Vesperia, Awakening, BLR, Dragon Quest. Did anybody get it? Snack had the right games. Does that mean nobody had the right order? That's okay. All the right games is pretty good. Russ had Somnium Files in top 5. BLR, Awakening, okay, P3, Xenoblade 2, Dragon Quest. That's not bad. I really wasn't sure where I was going to put Xenoblade until I saw this. Until I saw what we had down. And I think that's fair to have had it that high. My big goal with this one was... This sounds harsh, and I don't mean it as harsh. Because it's so important to me and to the channel, and I love it still. But my goal was to finally let go, kind of, and be like, it's fine, you've done better than this. It's still very high. But I know that I have outdone it. And I keep golden up here. Or I kept it up here, like, much higher in the last one I did. I think a lot because of Legacy. And less because of its merits. And its merits are still, like, relatively high. Like, look where it is still. VLR, not so much, because I still feel like that one is so funny and has a lot of staying power. But even then, I feel like I have surpassed it. I think even some of these are, like, better than it on a quality level, but it's still so central to so much, like, mantra. And yes, I think P3R happening was a great time to do this. And now look, it's my new number one. I had a blast with it. I perfected the formula that I started, kind of, with it. And I'm happy with it. Guys, here to much more. We still have a pretty booked schedule. I'm just going to go over what we have confirmed up to this point. Here is what is known. Here is what I've made public. Tuesday, we will be doing Last Defense Academy, whatever it's called. We will eventually be doing Tai 2. I have said this. And I believe the Pokemon project that I've talked about will eventually be a Tuesday. In addition, we confirmed... Let's go over to here. Boost Fury will definitely be a Tuesday. That's the next Tuesday game, actually. And Bug Fables will be a Tuesday. Pokemon we might not see for a while. I still have to figure it out. I'm sorry, but it'll take time. Friday, what we have confirmed, we're doing mouthwashing next week. That'll be a fun, hopefully one-off. I might start a little early just to make sure, because it's not going to take a 2 full session. So I'd like to make it a one-off. Just as a little bit of a mouthwash for us to cleanse our palate, I guess you could say, before going into the answer, which will be the week after that. Kiwami will be after that. And likely after Kiwami is when we will do Twilight Princess. And then Silent Hill 2 is going to be an eventual, like, Halloween Friday game, like an October Friday game. So I think we're doing Kiwami, Twilight Princess. I think that's the kind of goal. Yeah, I've brought up Twilight Princess a lot, so I didn't think I needed to count it as a dibs. It's kind of already been dibs. And for Sunday, we have Dragon Quest VIII coming up. I got it working yesterday. I just got to get the mod working. We will be doing Dawn of the New World after that. And then we will be checking where we're at. Maybe doing another game. Depending on how long that is. And then eventually Xenoblade 3. I think we'll need another game between Dawn of the New World and Xenoblade 3. I'm not ready to tackle Xenoblade 3 in the next year. That's going to be ways away. So, maybe one of these dibs might be that. We'll have to see. And then, as of yet undetermined, is Path of Radiance, which I've promised, and Kakarot. I don't know what day Kakarot will be. Probably a Tuesday. But it could be a Friday. Path of Radiance, same thing. Probably a Tuesday. Could also be a Friday, though. Probably not a Sunday. We might return to the Year of Long. No, not actually. But now we got 2 more dibs here. And I will say one of them is a potential Sunday. Could be a Friday. I'm going to need someone's opinion on that. And then the last one will be a Friday game. So this next one has been requested. And I think I said I would play it or think about playing it. But I never got around to it. But it has been in the back of my mind for a very long time. And I would like to get to it. It could, if it's a Friday game, it's probably not going to be till after Twilight Princess. So it might be a next year thing. Like an early next year. But it could be a Sunday game. And I'm going to need someone's opinion, a very specific person who I think is going to be excited about this one. We're going to do Nier. And I think that's what Will was thinking of. Do we think that's a Friday or a Sunday, Will? I don't know enough about it. I wanted to play this. I think it could bring a fun Friday energy, just from like what I understand of it. So it might be an after Twilight Princess thing. So that could be late this year or early next year. I don't really know. We'll see how things go. We'll see how long the answer is. We'll see how long the answer is. So chalk that up for a Friday for now. Hi, Sis. Yeah, it was on the table for a long time. So I finally want to do it. Because it kind of slipped through the cracks. Now, the final dibs. This is not happening for a while. It's because I'm not ready to play another game in this franchise yet. Or anytime soon. But I do really want to do it. So it could be like a 2026 thing. I'm not ready to play another game, period, yeah. It's the CG trailer coming soon reveal. I did make an asset for this. I was going to make this trailer. I was planning to make this one. Worked on the trailer yesterday? No, I didn't. And it was going to be a funny reveal for us. Let me actually... We can pretend here. I will show you the single asset I made. Where are we here? Okay. Here we go. So this was what was going to be on screen. There was going to be a character, and they were going to be looking at their computer, and another character was going to come up behind them and point to something and say, "Hey, what's that?" And so here it is. This is Fukuyamagishi's channel. And there was going to be a quip about being mad about what Twitch was doing lately. And she was just cleaning up her highlights and deleting everything and putting it all on YouTube. And a character was going to point at the bottom here. What year is it? Who knows? I can post this picture later. It's funny. And a character's like, what the heck is that? And she was going to click on it. And then you were going to get the trailer. And you were going to get Persona Q. Which I think I'll do maybe 2026 late. because we're gonna need some time away. But I do want to do this someday. A potential complication is if a P4 remake happens. I don't want to stream that, but someone else might want to. And if so, I don't want to be doing these side by side because that could get weird or confusing. But we'll have to see how that happens. I might move it up or down depending on that. But this will be fun. A, we'll get the P3 cast back. B, what I'm more excited about, we get the P4 cast back, and maybe we could do more with them in a modern Zebra setting, and it could be funny. But that's a ways away. This is a far, far in the future that I just wanted to put on the table. Yeah, they can get a little refresh, a new lease on life. I guess I also soft confirmed Pikmin 4 today. That would be a Tuesday. But that's everything, guys. That's all of it. Oh, what were the other trailers going to be? So I didn't have one for Dawn of the New Worlds. Bug Fables was going to be featuring Franny and the Pikmin. And I think Carlos was going to be in that. And it was going to reveal Bug Fables. Yakuza was going to be... I hadn't decided who, but I think Raven and Dunban were going to be there. And maybe some third character playing Mahjong. And Kiryu was going to bust down the door. It was going to be 3 obnoxious characters, probably. And Kiryu was going to bust down the door. And then Silent Hill was going to be Poppy and Wie. That was going to be... They were going to be in the void, and Poppy was going to be talking about how Poppy got chosen to do this one, because Poppy's the only one who knows things. And then there was going to be some scary sound, and she was going to run, and it was going to be Silent Hill 2. And then I explained the Q1, and I explained the Dragon Ball ones. I don't think I had one for Nier, and I didn't really have one for Dawn of the New World yet. And I scrapped it all, and because I was like, this is too much work to do in a short time. They were going to be low effort. But even low effort was too much effort. But those were the scrapped scripts for you. That's it, guys. How about that? Here we are. We made it. 8-ish years, 7.5, I guess. Very proud of it. Can I do this? Oh, did that too. That look better there. Now you can see it all. I won't be doing anything like this again. From now on, I think Snack said this too. From now on, I'll just be updating this and showing you maybe at the end of every year where we're at or something. I definitely won't be doing this from scratch ever again. It's too much. I just wanted to do one like grand one that covered everything, you know? I will be keeping... I will be maintaining these documents. I'll be keeping the stream title one. I'll be keeping the eras. I'll be keeping the streams by length and the face cams. I'll make those public if you ever want to look at them. I like having things all in one place, so it'll be fun to have them all in one place. And I'll post it all after this. This was a lot of fun. Lots of memories packed into this. Lots of gratitude. Lots of fun. Thank you all for joining me on this journey. Let's keep doing it till I can't. And we'll cross that bridge whenever we get there. Hopefully in the distant future. that's it. We can fun with idle. I could do that. Oh, it's called Squid Games though. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Stay tuned. Dragon Quest next Sunday. Mouthwashing this Friday. The answer coming soon. Tie finale coming up this week. And lots of stuff still in the pipeline. Have fun. Take care. Bye-bye.